Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Let us get into a very key idea here. I came across a very famous left wing person who made the argument that white people have an invisible package of unearned assets, right? But I'm going to refine their statement to make it completely accurate and foul proof, though they were basically right, they were just too vague. So, white people have an invisible package of unearned assets that gives them unfair privileges and advantages that not all of them masterfully leverage. That not all of them masterfully leverage. Now, I don't know how much the rich white power structure is telling poor white people that they better stay in their place and they better not try to leverage their whiteness and to get out of the hole that they're in, what have you. Because, for example, if you go to a job and the guy's racist and you're scrambling and you're a white kid, they're more likely to give you that job, generally speaking, than if you're scrambling, and you're a black person, especially after all the backlash against DEI. So here they have an invisible package of unearned assets that gives them unfair privileges and advantages that not all of them masterfully leverage, and it's not entirely clear why that is. Obviously, they have maintained these assets by being evil, and this is acknowledged as Lucifer, as a character in the TV show, is a white or white Jewish corporate person. So what is Lucifer as a character in this TV show that everyone watches and say, hey, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's what he would be. Is he a black gang member from the ghetto? Is he a Hispanic from East LA? Is he an Asian Crip from California? What is he? Is he a member of a biker gang? What is Lucifer as a character in the TV show? It was a very popular TV show. He was white or white Jewish. He was like right in between the two, right? He has certain Jewish features, certain white features. He has black hair. Jews often have black hair, what have you. So two people in white culture, many conservatives watch that TV show too. The devil would be someone who's the most evil type they could think of, which is a white or white Jewish corporate person. And keep in mind, he's manipulating things. They say those guys manipulate things and they tempt people and they market things to people, what have you. How can a conservative then turn around and say that white people are the victims? Talk about speak out of both sides of their mouth. Some of these guys probably watched dozens of those episodes and thought nothing of it because they already know that that idea is sound. Mostly white government historically, mostly white governing class. Okay, what can they say? Pretty straightforward. Is there any other way to look at it? Now let's look at the think tanks here. How do we get here in the first place? Who's helping the real life version of Lucifer in the TV show? Let's look at this thing here. The main conservative think tanks purposely maneuver to create an economic dynamic which allows many arrogant and rich conservatives to sexually coerce poor, attractive women and rich, attractive women with ease. Now, who doubts this? Let's go again here. I'll make sure you understand this here. So the main conservative think tanks purposely maneuver to create an economic dynamic which allows many arrogant and rich conservatives, and managerial ones too, mind you, to sexually coerce poor, attractive women and middle-class and rich, attractive women with ease. That's why the word racist is like the word rapist. Again, that's like the word racist is like the word rapist. I purposely use the word attractive because they do want to sabotage people, especially liberals, to maintain the dynamic of rich people getting over in dating. Why would an attractive woman who spends a lot of time being attractive give herself to an oppressor who helps evil people obstruct justice while playing stupid about being an oppressor, which creates a lot of coercion, especially aimed at attractive females? Why would they want to give them what they want? When you get married, they say, for richer or poor, through sickness and in health. How are they going to then turn around and say, well, that doesn't matter? That the perfect marriage to them is to an oppressor who's part of some fancy social club or something. Okay, these social clubs are huge, right? They support 573,000 jobs every year. 573,000 jobs. They generate $32.6 billion in direct revenue. And social clubs aren't the only groups of privileged white people that get together and hold you down. There's politicians. There's secret societies. I don't know if they're counting them as social clubs or not. There's fraternities. There's corporations. What can they say? What the hell can they say? There's CIA groups and their assets. You have to really trick people for generations to pull that off. That's the general rule. In order to make an attractive female so dumb that instead of standing with the masses of attractive women in the poor and making sure that things are fair and just and right so that she can date a righteous guy and he'll have more money than he otherwise would. Keep in mind, 93% of black males are employed right now. 93%, which is nearly identical to the employment rate and the unemployment rate of the general public, just a few percent off. And keep in mind, there's a lot of people who are in between jobs. In between jobs. That's why they're unemployed, not just sitting on the couch saying they don't need a job. I mean, you have to really think it through to trick people for generations to pull off that social, political, and economic dynamic. That is the general rule of thumb, at least. And that is perhaps the main thing that they are trying to conserve. Conserve. The word conserve or conservation is like the word conversation. Write that down. The word conserve and conservation, right? The word conservation connected to the word conserve is like the word conversation. Nearly identical. Now, why would that be? And they both have the word con in it. You see that? Can they then turn around and say that conservatism is not a problem? Conservatism is like terrorism. The Klan was considered a terrorist organization. And who were they? They were in social clubs, right? William Joseph Simmons, the guy who founded the second Klan, the biggest Klan, had 5 to 6 million members, was said to be in 24 fraternities. Then they start backtracking and say, no, well, maybe they didn't do their research. It's safe to say he was, because a lot of the Klan sympathizers were in other secret societies and social clubs on record. And quote me on that. It's guaranteed. So these social clubs historically sympathize with the Klan. And they have this massive infrastructure, just their social clubs, not including their private businesses. Not including the businesses of the members who attend those social clubs. Some of them powerful, rich, powerful, Fortune 500 type, psychopaths. Okay? They support 573,000 jobs, and how many of them are females who are coerced? Pretty straightforward. And they're on board. They're on board with this rape system. That's why it's called a membership. A membership. Ship. On board. And the word board has the word boa in it for a reason, because that is some ancient serpent, the devil, Lucifer in the TV show type of bitch shit. Thank you.